The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Billings here with you today. Smears and defamation against the leading populist political outsider candidate in the Kansas race for governor. It's a familiar scenario, unfortunately, in American politics. And it's the reason why so many good people in this country, in this republic, don't run for office. Because who in their right mind would want to put up with that kind of BS? A leading candidate who's over the target, and he's the favorite populist choice among the people. The candidate who has the establishment elected class swamp scared out of their wits and who fears him the most. The recipe to ruin him? False accusations, smear tactics. Let's make up stuff. Crazy, kooky nut jobs come out of the woodwork. Today, the candidate who is favored and who's under these attacks. If you haven't guessed it yet, folks, it's me. Ladies and gentlemen, The Right Side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and his divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Right Side with Doug Billings. Here we go. We are upon you. Kansas and America. I am Doug Billings, your host, and today I'm diving in headfirst into the swamp to expose the lies, the jealousy, the nut jobs, the kookiness. Holy moly, the establishment's desperate attempts to derail our campaign for Kansas governor. I'm fired up, and I'm not holding back. As a MAGA conservative populist and the political outsider in this race, I've known from day one that the establishment and certain other nut jobs and kooks out there would come after me with everything they've got. And boy, oh boy, are they trying. The latest attack, a ridiculous, baseless accusation that I misused a $2,700 donation for personal use. Let me be crystal clear about this, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lie. I wouldn't risk my reputation. I wouldn't risk the campaign or my friends. Or, most importantly, the trust of all of you for what really amounts to pocket change. Thank you very much. The truth, that donation, that amount was made for my podcast, not the campaign. The donor is a friend of mine for about 18 years. He's been a consistent supporter and benefactor of the show. I'm blessed to have certain people who like the show, they like the content, and they contribute over at dougbillings.us. All right? I've got 3 checks from this guy over the last few months, many more in the past, and, you know, 3, one for $2,000, one for $500, and one for $2,700. Show them to you right now. All made out to Doug Billings, ladies and gentlemen. Not Doug Billings for Kansas, not Doug Billings for governor. Anyone with any shred of intellectual maturity knows how this works, folks. When you donate to a campaign, you make the check out to the campaign, not to the individual. But the establishment and other nut jobs out there don't care about the facts. They're hoping that you believe everything that you see on the internet, everything that you read in the newspapers. They're hoping on that. There's a small percentage of people who do believe anything they see on the internet. Oh, it must be true. Wow, look at what the Kansas City Falling Star wrote about Doug Billings. Must be true. Well, guess what? Folks, we're smarter than that in Kansas. Now, let's talk about the source of the nonsense. My former lieutenant governor running mate, who I'll just call the scorned ex-candidate, is behind the smear. And why is that? Well, because I was about to fire her from her role for conduct unbecoming. I was going to offer her another position, but before I could do any of that, she went to the Secretary of State's office in Kansas and resigned her position. I didn't know she was going to do that. She caught wind. Someone within the team probably told her, hey, Doug's going to let you go. Well, hell hath no fury like a scorned employee, right? I saw it time after time when I was in corporate America as the leader of HR. Acting out in a fit of rage because her feelings are hurt. Have you ever hurt someone's feelings, folks? Have you ever hurt anyone's feelings where they act out and they hold a grudge? Well, here we are. So I'll paint the picture for you. We were at an open bar fundraiser, and this woman drank glass after glass after glass of wine. Even long after the event ended and I had gone home, people are telling me, witnesses telling me, she was staying there. She wanted more free wine. Well, I'm the lieutenant governor candidate. I should be able to, we've closed, ma'am. The event's over. I'm the lieutenant governor candidate. I should be able to have as much free wine as I want. So I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't drink when I'm working. All right? Over a dozen people, including my temporary treasurer, Joel, came. You got to get rid of her. You got to make a change. Joel never liked her. Joel from day one thought she was a clown and told me so. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I mean, I genuinely liked her and her husband. Folks, she couldn't deliver a speech to save her life. She couldn't conduct interviews with the media. She refused to make fundraising calls. She just wasn't suited for the role. It's not an insult to her. It's just the way it is. And I was going to give her another role within the campaign. My decision to let her go was about protecting the campaign and our movement, you and I, so that we can win for Kansas. Like I said, I was going to give her another duty, another job. But she ran off in a fit of rage and acted before I could speak with her. And I've sworn that I would try to refrain from saying anything negative about her and her husband, despite an abundant list of things that I could say, because I care about them. I genuinely do. But I'm telling you this now precisely because of what they've done. They're the ones that took the preemptive strike, and so I've had enough. Instead of bowing out gracefully, they've chosen to sling mud, teaming up with a couple of other people from the campaign. We've got about 10 or 12 people on this team, and we always have. They didn't even meet all of the team members. So they team up and they start to spread lies. Does it all sound familiar? It should, because it's the same playbook that the establishment used with President Donald J. Trump. They tried to smear him with wild accusations, Russia hoaxes. Former team members and cabinet members who were fired or let go came out of the woodwork. The impeachment nonsense, crazy in-laws and relatives. Wow. Does it all sound familiar? Because I've got a crazy cousin out there saying crazy things. They just don't like you. You've done something along the way that has pissed them off, and so they act out like this. They don't come to you in private. They don't come to you and make a private appeal. Hey, tell me what's going on. They just lash out publicly. They don't allow you to even ask for grace. All because that Trump and I dare to challenge a corrupt system, or because they just don't like us. And they've convinced themselves into believing a lie. And President Trump's friend and attorney caught note of this, Peter Tickton. He's already sent cease and desist letters and now considering legal action against these people because of the slander. That's how serious we're taking it. And let's not forget about the Kansas City Falling Star here. They published a hit piece. They tried to dig up 20 to 15, 30-year-old stories. that I have been open about my entire adult life. In fact, when I wrote my book, Your Wonderful Life, I held nothing back. I bore all of the skeletons out. And I have spoken about these things from the stage when I make appearances across this republic. There is no skeleton in my closet that they can exploit, ladies and gentlemen. I have been open and honest with you. I have said many times as I'm speaking prior to running for governor, if God were to come down and say, hey, let's make a line, everybody, God coming down, let's make a line. Everybody who's made a mistake, I want you to get in line. Chances are that Doug Billings may be first in that line. But I have a sneaking suspicion there would be many of you right there with me. But these people don't want people like us to overcome challenge, adversity, and tragedy or mistakes to make their life better, to try to turn a page away from the chapter where you weren't the best version of yourself. They want to crucify you in public because they just don't like you. They have hurt feelings, and they're desperate to be relevant because they know that we're the favorite in this race. That really gets them going, and so they're going to continue to lash out. I made a video 4 months ago or so. It's on YouTube or Rumble, and I spoke about all of the stuff 30 years ago, issues that I went through because I knew that they're going to try to dig this up, and when we win the primary, it'll probably come up again. You know, the people of Kansas are fed up with these kinds of games. They're ready for a true leader, someone who doesn't back down. I'm going to take the slings and the arrows for you, my friends. I'll take it. This campaign is, after all, about you. It's about hardworking, God-fearing, American values-based people of Kansas. It's about draining the swamp. It's about cutting taxes, especially property tax. It's about KDOJ, the Kansas Department of Government Efficiency, and about how I will find over $1 billion of waste, fraud, abuse, and redundancies that will, in fact, help us to eliminate or reduce property and income tax in Kansas. It's about ending child and human trafficking that happens in every zip code in this state, every zip code in this country. About me ordering the Highway Patrol and the National Guard to hunt down the monsters responsible for that. It's about bringing businesses like SpaceX and the United States Space Force without using star bonds to give billionaires more billions. We can do it. It's about stopping illegal immigration and benefits and working with ICE and Tom Homan. It's about putting Kansas first. It's about auditing and holding tyrannical boards like the Kansas Department of Education and the Kansas Department of Nursing accountable, only to name a couple. It's about on day one signing an executive order to start the Election Integrity Task Force to follow suit with President Trump to get rid of the electronic machines. The establishment is terrified of this and our campaign. They can't control me at all, and that scares the hell out of them. And they can't control you either. You know, I saw people on internet, social media, oh, that Billings, look, Kansas City Falling Star wrote an article, must be true. Let's pray for those people. Let's hope and extend them grace. Don't lash out at them, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a chance to come back into the fold. There's several out there who I really admire in Kansas and on social media. Thankfully, they're the minority. You see, the thing is about things like this is that most people, the vast, vast majority, are intellectually mature. For those of you who have watched my program over the last 5 years, you've been blessed because I've made you the most intellectually mature audience in all of podcast land, as I say. We are stronger than their attacks. We are built on faith, we're built on truth, and the will of the people. We're going to prevail. We already have. So here's my message to the scorned ex-candidate and all of those folks out there, the few that are out there throwing the mud. You can go ahead and throw your tantrums, but you're not going to stop this movement. You're not going to stop this campaign. To the Kansas City Falling Star, go ahead and keep your hit pieces coming because all good press is good press. Thank you. You've got the entire state and most parts of this republic talking about this campaign. I thank you for that. All press is good press. And to the establishment, your days of ruling Kansas are numbered. The people are awake, and this kind of nonsense helps quicken the awakening. It helps them see the nonsense. Kansas and American patriots throughout this country are here, and I need your help. No matter where you live, you can donate and contribute to this campaign. DougBillings4Kansas.com. DougBillings4, F-O-R, Kansas.com. And if you write a check, for God's sakes, don't forget to make it out for Doug Billings for Kansas. We know how this works, right? Wow. So share this. Share this, 15 or 20-minute clip, and let's send a message that Kansas is ready for a real change and that nonsense doesn't stand. My name's Doug Billings, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm running to be governor of Kansas. We're in this thing together. Believe it. For Kansas. God bless you. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.